Yoga, an ancient science of wellness, offered deep physical, mental, and emotional support, especially during pregnancy. Priyanki, a yoga lifestyle specialist and the founder of The Pregnancy Yoga, is a pioneer in guiding women through this sacred journey. After experiencing her own post pregnancy challenges in 2013, she left a successful corporate career to embrace yoga full time. Now, a certified yoga instructor trainer with over 500 hours of advanced training, she specializes in pre postnatal yoga with 185 hours prenatal yoga certification. Her unique approach blends classic techniques like Garbha Sanskar, labor breathing, and Yoga Nidra with modern therapeutic insights. Through this, she's empowered countless women through fertility, pregnancy, and postpartum recovery. Currently pursuing a PhD in yoga, Priyanki's mission is to make yoga an essential part of every woman's motherhood journey. Curious to know more? Tune into this inspiring podcast only on Health Commune and start your own holistic journey. Priyanki, we were thinking about postnatal and prenatal yoga, okay? And it's been, I guess, about a month that we are discussing. And thank you so much for actually taking out time today, Saturday. It's a good day. Like specifically, we want to discuss about what you have done, your journey, which will help pregnant mothers or those who are planning for their baby to see how it is going to benefit. Okay, so before I get into more about the technical questions, I would like to know your journey, where you have started and how you got into yoga.
Thank you, Smita, for inviting me for this. Thank you. And so my journey started few years back when I talk about pregnancy yoga. But before that, I would like to tell you about myself. So I hail from a city of yoga, Rishikesh.
Okay.
And I was born in Lucknow though, but my schooling and my graduation was from Rishikesh. And post that, I went for my post-graduation in insurance and risk management from BITS Pilani's Management Institute in Delhi. And I did that course. I started working in the corporate world for good 22 years.
Oh my God.
And in between, I did my executive course from IIM Ahmedabad as well. And post that, there was certain calling about yoga. During my tenure with Walmart as a fraud investigator for their India office, I thought, why not yoga? I just started my self-practice, but honestly, I miss that why I did not practice during my first pregnancy. Post-delivery, I started with postnatal yoga, and I saw a sudden improvement in my health, my mood, I felt quite calm, and then there was no stopping after that. And, after a few years, say around 11, 12 years, I thought, I think it's yoga calling.
Okay.
That's when I decided to, shift my complete corporate career to my yoga setup. And that's when I left my job and did my certifications, pregnancy certifications, which are taken care by Yoga Alliance Institute. It's an internationally recognized institute. So I did 200-hour certification, then 500-hour certifications as well. Post that, I did my master's in yoga and naturopathy, and now I'm pursuing my PhD in the same field.
Really? Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So that's about me, and this was not an easy tenure, honestly. It took some time, to shift from corporate to yoga to family to a lot of things, that as a mother I have to take it care of.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. You are that monk who sold her Ferrari and got into yoga. Oh, wonderful. It's very, I didn't know. And whenever people they are leaving their corporate job and getting into something that they truly enjoy, I find it like it's some journey that I really want to capture. We hear it or we read it in the books, but I think you're the first person I'm talking to who's actually did that crossover, I can say. Are you enjoying it?
I love it. I love it. Following your passion, that too with the family support, I think very few get to get this kind of advantage and benefit in life. And I think I'm lucky enough that I have that supporting family.
True.
Yeah.
But why specifically pregnancy-related yoga? Is it because of your own experience, or is it something that you think that that's where the intervention should be there?
Yeah, I think very, very good question, Smita. I started my journey with regular yoga, honestly, I would admit that. But then I thought that few pregnant moms inquired about the yoga, about practicing yoga with them. And I said, I am not the right person. But I never wanted to tell anybody that I'm not the right person. That's when, I thought why I can't take certifications in that. And of course, the anatomy, the emotions, the limitations of a pregnant mother are totally different from the regular, normal human being, I would rather put it like this. And that's when I thought that it's the right time to get into the pregnancy journey with other mothers. And yeah.
Okay. A few days back, when we were planning for our podcast, I was reaching out to people, those who are into this journey.
Yeah.
Okay. Something related to overall pregnancy experience. A few people reached out to me by saying that there are natural birthing processes. There is something that is a mental health related to during pregnancy, after pregnancy, and what interventions can be done. And one of the very funny thing that we talked is, if you look at the overall women health aspect, baby and related thing is such an important thing, and that's where the least support it is there. Second thing is, most of the pregnant mothers are not even aware that they can take a decision of their pregnancy. The whole family or the husband or everyone else is actually deciding for them what birthing option they should go for, whether they can actually go for yoga or not. The family will say, nahi karna hai. It'll have some injury ho jayega, kuch ho jayega karke. The rest of the world is actually taking decisions for them, and they themselves, they are not able to take decision whether I want to go for CS, whether I want to go for natural birthing, hypnobirthing, water birthing, whether I can go for yoga practices, whether I should eat this or not. Sab baki log decide karte hain.
Exactly.
And it's another big topic that we want to start the conversation about. Of course, good part that we are starting something with yoga related discussion. So my first question specifically going about this expertise of yours is, if a pregnant mother is there, at what stage she should call you?
As soon as she conceives.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it comes for the first phase, so we know that pregnancy is divided into three trimesters, trimester 1, 2 and 3.
Correct.
So trimester 1 is about accepting the body, because mother is going to, of course, through a lot of changes. Trimester 2 is about when body is growing, baby is growing and mother's body is also growing. And trimester 3, baby is maturing, but still mother's body is growing. So when these all three trimesters give a different perspective to a mother internally, what she is going through, nobody is aware. She is only, having different thoughts, different physical inabilities. She's still trying to make sure that she's giving her best. So processing, practicing, accepting yoga as soon as you conceive is the best thing to do.
Okay.
See, sometimes people do fertility yoga, right? And once they conceive, they continue with yoga.
Correct.
So what is stopping it?
Correct.
Nothing. So of course, body mein changes ho rahe hain, new hormones are getting produced. But these hormones will only keep on enhancing their abilities once you give something to your body. The calmness, lot of breathing techniques can be imbibed, lot of gentle movements can be done to make sure that body is moving. There is a good blood flow that is happening in the body, and of course it works on your placenta and with the baby. So win-win for everybody in all the stages.
As a doctor, I'm really happy to hear that first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, because these 3 months, the whole body is absolutely different. It reacts differently. The baby growth is different. Your hormonal cocktail that you live inside, it's different. So that's the reason, if there is, if it is compartmentalized, it helps doctors to understand when to suggest, what to suggest. And I know that majority of the doctors now, they suggest pregnant mothers to go for yoga. Okay, there is always a shift, but I know that. Okay, and why is the mothers are mentally prepared as a pregnant mother, and with the pregnancy, and then consciously they are thinking, okay, now this is the baby growth and everything, and it helps through yoga. Okay, that's what I have heard from the obstetricians that I work with. What's the objective of pregnancy yoga?
So objective pregnancy yoga that it offers are very clear. your physical health support, preparing for labor and delivery, emotional balancing, and overall holistic development of mother along with the baby.
Okay.
So it gives a lot of bonding also with the baby. You know,
Correct.
we do Garbha Sanskar, we do meditation, we do guided meditation, you know, which creates a different level of bond. So before baby comes, mother is already connected with the baby.
Okay.
So it has been seen, if I talk about modern science and Ayurveda together, that whatever mother is doing, imbibing in her life, has a direct impact on the baby. Whatever she is even listening to.
Yes.
So it impacts the baby. So prenatal yoga helps mother to be more conscious of her actions. What she's supposed to do, how she's supposed to walk, how she should sleep, what will improve, you know, why her left side sleeping is important than rather
Correct.
sleeping on the right side, why not on the back after first trimester. So all these questions, when are framed and are made aware to the mother, that you know, prenatal yoga is only going to help her grow better. Post delivery, her recovery would be faster.
Correct.
And she would be a little happier personality than the mothers who are not practicing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Assume that let's talk about the first trimester. The major problem in first trimester first is accepting the changes that are happening in your body. Okay, even if they are not visible. Second, accepting that you are pregnant. Okay, and majority of the time goes into thinking about how I'm going to do, how I'm going to take care of the baby, all these things, right? It's more of a mental issues that you deal with compared to the physical issues. Of course, vomiting is like part of the whole
it's a
journey.
process,
It's a
yes,
process.
true.
It stays. Okay, but apart from that, so in first trimester, how yoga helps, especially are there any additional benefit in the first trimester? Because still the belly is not there, and the changes that are there, like the physically changes are not there. It's more of a emotional changes that happens. So how yoga helps there? Welcome to Health Commune, where we are shaping a healthier world by bridging the knowledge gap between people, doctors, and the healthcare industry, empowering better health for all.
So at this stage, mother knows that changes are going to happen.
True.
And of course, there are two pregnancies. One is planned, one is unplanned.
True.
So if you plan it, you know what would happen in the third trimester.
Yeah, beautiful.
But when it is unplanned, first you have to accept.
Correct.
That is the most critical thing to do. Am I the right mother? Will I be able to take care of my baby? Am I the right person for this baby? Why me? Why my family is not supporting me in taking the decision that I don't want this baby right now.
Yeah.
My focus is my career. You know, a lot of self-introspection that happens.
Correct.
So when I have gone through such cases, so when the mother comes with this blockage of thoughts, she gets more clarity. And how, like, so I'll take few basic yoga postures that can help a mother to go through this journey of, you know, accepting the fact that she's now pregnant. Is the balasana, the child pose, the cat and cow pose, basic pelvic tilts, basic side stretches, sukhasana. She can just do mental nadi shodhan breathing and humming breath. All these movements will make her more accepting. You know, she will become more acceptable to herself. Once she's accepting her decision, accepting the baby becomes much faster and easier. And of course, it helps in, you know, when a good blood circulation would be there because of these practices, her body will also start supporting. So yes, that's how the prenatal yoga is going to help mother transit from trimester 1 to trimester 2.
Okay. So it's just not about the physical activities, not the yoga postures and yoga asana. It's also more of, you know, working through meditations and other breathing techniques. So it's like quite a many things that you...
It's a whole package that comes together.
Okay.
So we work on lifestyle. We work on what they should eat. If, you know, if I have a set and I know all mothers have a different... So every mother will have a different pregnancy. So you plan a session. Today you know that you are going to work on, say, their upper back or their back.
Correct.
Once somebody will come up in the class that today she has a foot swelling or she has carpal tunnel, a pain in her right hand.
Correct.
So what do you do about it? You then change according to their requirement for that day. So mother should be aware that what she is doing or whatever is planned for her, you know, yoga practice is any which way is benefiting her in either way.
Correct.
So through guided meditations, she becomes more aware about her breath. When she's breathing gently, that it's calming her. And if it is calming her, her blood circulation is better,
Correct.
the oxygen supply to baby is better. So overall, again, mother and the baby, the
Correct.
bonding improves, the health improves,
Yeah.
physical capabilities improve, overall the holistic development. for
Correct.
both of
Okay.
them. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. During first trimester, we usually do not see quite a many complications that will appear in the first trimester, which starts popping up in like second and third, gestational diabetes, hypertension related issues.
Yeah.
But first trimester, anxiety. Okay, anxiety is the biggest issue. Stress. Okay, and stress actually just not during the pregnancy. Overall, stress is very, very, very harmful to us. Okay, like if we look at the longevity science, stress, if it is less stress, it will help you to grow. Okay, थोड़ा बहुत stress चाहिए होता है. Okay, in fact, it's scientifically proven that it will increase the length of your telomeres if it is lesser stress. But if the stress is chronic, then it becomes difficult for your body to deal with it.
Yeah.
There are already scientific studies that proves that yoga helps. It's published and there are beautiful meta-analysis and systematic review. They have studied that pregnancy yoga helps to reduce the stress and anxiety in the first trimester. Give us some real life examples, like you are, since so many years you're practicing. So anything in the first trimester that if you remember that helped any of the mother?
So I categorically remember this, one of my student 5 years back. She was going through an unplanned pregnancy. Not a very lovely environment at home. I would rather put it like this. And she had no ears to hear her. Ultimately, her family forced her, to stay with her parents for some time. Maybe environment change would help her to improve her focus towards the baby. She did not accept the baby till the last day. I would put it like this. But one thing she was always excited about throughout the 5 months journey with me, that she wants to attend the yoga class.
Okay.
It somehow keeps her mentally away from the distractions which will go for another 23 hours in her life. So that I really admired about her. While the duration of last 4 weeks came closer for the delivery, that is the time when I found that she was now clear. Priyanki, it's me and my baby now.
Yeah.
So I think this acceptance should have come in the first month. But it was still, a good journey
Beautiful.
that I had spent with her, making her aware, and ultimately it gave the result.
I'm probably I'm not directly related to the yoga topic that we are discussing, but there's a conversation that is very much required about after conceiving and the family acceptance and accepting yourself as a mother. Especially there are so many women, those who are already struggling with their marriages. They're already not comfortable and they're not sure about their marriage. Okay, probably not in a great terms with the husband, and they're not even sure. And that's the reason we have like pretty high divorce rate. With the children, moms are just walking out of the house and they're being on their own. And that point of time, they're not even like, that's another level of stress. You're not sure whether this person you're with, you're not happy with that person, but you're still pregnant. And I really loved it when you said this, that it's me and my baby. Right, and I always say that the pregnancy is your decision. To be a mother is a mother's decision, not the family decision. It's you, and because end of the day, I remember when I was in labor, I remember it's just me and Ivanka. That's all. Nobody else was there in this world.
True.
Okay, let's get into the second trimester now.
Yeah.
How pregnancy yoga helps in the second trimester?
Yeah. So this is when the body changes. They start becoming visible to the mother and to others.
Correct.
And that's when they say that you should disclose your pregnancy now.
Yeah.
Because it's very prominent. And during this time, it's all of fair and glow impact on mother. And mother has all the happy hormones traveling inside. So the best time when you should actually utilize all your energies in doing yoga, in core strengthening, building labors, strength for labor, doing lot of pelvic movements and all. But of course, when we talk about all the movements, we talk about healthy movements, not inversions, not putting any pressure or not compromising on the stomach, on the belly health, not doing core strengthening, lot of core strengthening like that. But we talk about the healthy pregnancy, the pregnancies which have little complications, hypertension or gestational sugar, or cervical issues, cervical insufficiency, I would rather say, or any kind of first pregnancy difficulty if it is the second baby. So any kind of medical history like that, then of course we have a different set of movements that can be done during that time. But normally if we talk, you can do anything. If you are a yoga practitioner already, you can even do headstands and all.
Correct.
They're absolutely safe.
Yeah.
But for the first hand yoga practitioners who have heard about prenatal yoga, and of course we want to try, it's a big jargon, and let's do it, why not? So any movement that gives you calm and comfort, that gives you strength, that gives you emotional balance, that gives you a kind of a self creativity, yes, I can do it, because at the end of the day, you feel that I have done it. That 1 hour was for me.
Correct.
That independence also, mothers look forward. I have experienced in all of my classes. None of my mothers so far have gone unhappy stating why my day was like this. They all went happy. They came with a different set of mind, but that's what an achievement is,
Correct,
you see a happy mother's happy face. I think that's what is called for. So any movement, Sukhasana, your child pose, your legs up against the wall, doing the chair pose, taking wall supports and all these are recommended movements to enable balance, and that all can be done in Trimester 2.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Trimester 2 gives you a full flow of energy, making sure that you are best to your abilities and you are achieving them.
Got it.
So for us also, as the practitioners and the trainers, it becomes a little more easier, to make them practice something that they can do within the limitations, and they feel good about it.
Correct.
Sometimes we add a lot of weights also while practicing yoga.
Okay.
So that is also happy and healthy, and they also feel good that today I lifted 4 kgs.
Correct.
Or 2 kgs as well. So yeah.
In our Panchil, there is one expert fitness trainer. She stays here. I don't want to name it, of course. When she was pregnant, I used to see her in the gym, like a nice, good pregnant mama.
Yeah.
And she used to lift like a 14 kg, 30 kg. Chal raha hai uska. She's professional fitness expert. And with her belly in our gym, like a normally. And I was like, are you fine? Because the safety is a big concern whenever these. But she's a pro, okay? And I knew that she knows what she's doing. But I could see her doing all the weightlifting and everything, all the bicep curls and everything. She was doing it with like really good heavy weight. Okay. Yeah. Whenever we talk about anything, okay, I know that professionals, medical practitioners, I did yoga when I was pregnant. I used to go for a walk and do all the butterfly movement, everything I did. Yeah. And I know that those who are either into professional yoga practicing from the beginning, or those who are into fitness, or those who are little medical practitioner, but for aam people, right, like normal people, they always think, is it safe? Because for them, like, I'm pregnant, I should not even move. And we know that if you're not then the pregnancy complications are going to appear. Yeah. We know that. So, is it safe?
Absolutely. There is no doubt about it. We have scientific researches around it. Okay. So, if I talk traditionally, our mothers, our grandmothers, great-grandmothers, they all used to do everything in the house. Yeah. Yeah. And they all delivered. They all had a happy pregnancy. They all delivered 99% normally. Yeah. True. So it's absolutely safe. So prenatal yoga is
in your in years of your practice, anything that you may say that ever happened, that okay, some injury happened or somebody fell down or anything of that sort?
No, never. never.
That's what people, like, when I was researching, majority of the myths are around, like, what if there is some injury because I'm doing some yoga, if I fall down, something goes wrong with the baby and other things. But nothing is documented. Nobody is saying that out of 1,000 mothers who did pregnancy yoga are too injured because of these things. It doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because, this is the time when mother herself is mentally mother now.
Yeah.
So her every next step is be very cautious. And when we are there, we are all already prepared. What is to be done. And of course, teaching online is not an easy task.
Yeah.
It becomes more complicated when you cannot even touch the person. But you have to be aware that how the hand is moving, hand is shifting. Is she 2 inches away from the mat, or how? I mean, so we have to take inch by inch kind of a thing. So when, of course, injury can only happen when mother works completely absent-minded on herself. With this, I remember a very lovely incident. I used to have this mother. She was 22, 23 years old. And very, very lovely mother. She's a cute mother. She used to just fall on the bed. As soon as, she will finish the asana, she will just fall on the bed. She will just fall, literally fall. I was like, you're scaring me. I just skipped my breath when you did this. No, ma'am, I'm absolutely fine. I was like, I know you're fine, but please don't do this. But mothers they become so connected that the chances of injury, unless there is an earthquake happening at that point or something like that, it's different.
True.
There are no chances.
Correct.
It's
safe,
like absolutely.
And there are like yoga is definitely much safer compared to, and I see like on YouTube, not very Indian pregnant mothers, but I see globally.
Yeah.
They are like just doing like a nice good gym, like proper weightlifting and other things. They're doing Pilates, so it's much safer because I have done Pilates, so like it's much organized. But even normal gym, they're doing it like very happily. They do, which is not a great practice. It's not very common in India, but yoga is our own culture, right? So it's very easy to accept, and it goes with our vibe.
Yes.
So Indians they go good with like yoga, and it's safe for sure. I have done research because I was wanted to read whether it is safe or not. Nothing is documented so far, and I totally agree with you that you're already in a mum mode and you know what is good for my baby and what is good for me, and you already know like it's a nature's gift. So now if we are talking about the second trimester, let me go to the last trimester. The final, where it's very difficult physically. Like swelling will be there, then all the bladder issues will be there, breathlessness will be there. Even when you are sleeping, you're not able to sleep. You're eating, you're not able to eat. Like it's physically, it is there, right? Like, and especially if the throughout pregnancy is like good, normal, then the weight of the baby is enough to actually give you discomfort. So how yoga helps you during that last trimester?
So if you have practiced yoga from in your trimester 1 or even in your trimester 2, the chances of all these discomforts, they become very less.
Got it.
Yeah. So maybe 10% or 5%, I would put it like this. But in case you are starting from trimester 3, still, they would gradually, within a week or 2 weeks practice, you would see the sudden fall in these kind of discomforts.
Correct.
Especially the pain, the pelvic girdle pain and sciatica pain.
Sciatica works.
Yeah, they become worse during this time. Oh, gradually it all will fade away.
Correct.
Improvements have been seen in the gestational sugar levels also, in preeclampsia cases, wherein the hypertension cases also, the improvements have been seen. I have seen it in my students already. So yeah, that way I can say.
Correct. Overall, like I like what you said. It's like if they are already practicing from first trimester, second trimester, the severity of the complication that may happen will be lesser. And that is also even just like simply if you are mobile, if you're just doing some movements, it will help. On top of that, if it is organized and structured like yoga from somebody who's certified and trained, it definitely the outcome will be there. Now, during this all 3 trimesters that we are talking about, how much time a mother needs to dedicate if she's going for prenatal yoga?
I would say 1 hour.
1 hour in a day. That's enough.
Okay. Yeah, 1 hour is enough. I always believe in mindfulness and how it comes when mother is self-aware. So 1 hour of physical practice.
Correct.
And if mother can take out 15-20 minutes before sleeping every night, she can just breathe in and breathe out. That is also a part of the guidance that, what she's about. I mean, she can do Bhramari Pranayam, she can do simply right left nostril breathing, Anulom Vilom. That will create more awareness. She will have less anxiety. She will be able to sleep better. Her night discomfort would be taken care of.
Correct. 1 hour is enough.
1 hour is enough, yes.
And, like this mindfulness that you talked, and I think Krishna will be happy to hear. Sadhguru, and we were discussing that Sadhguru's concept of conscious living, right?
Yes.
So when I was talking to one of my friend about the birthing thing and all, that conscious pregnancy, or conscious motherhood, that you are aware that what is happening. And I always say that, it's a superpower that you can create another human being. Don't take it like lightly. It's not happening just because ho gaye pregnant, right? Aisa nahi hai, it's a big superpower, and not everybody is lucky. If you see the whole market of infertility and fertility and talk to one mother who's not able to conceive, then you'll realize how blessed you are, and how much she'll struggle to conceive, and they go through like 10 years and 15 years of journey just to conceive. Imagine, not like just like baby and birthing and other things. It's such a big journey that they go through. And one of my friend who has gone through this particular journey of infertility, she's brilliant. She's into communication, like throughout topper, a brilliant lady. I'm telling you, like 10 years, she is not thinking anything but how to prepare myself to be a mama. Nothing she has done except for going through the fertility journey, like all the treatment she's taking. And that's why the blessed people have to just see once, and then you'll realize how important it is. And that's when you start respecting or appreciating the gifts that you have received, right? And I loved it when you said that this whole mindfulness, during this whole 9 months of journey, okay, if you just have to give 1 hour and thing, is it very expensive? I'm asking this.
No, it is not. It is not.
Okay.
It is not. See.
And online courses are there.
Yeah. These are online courses. You see, if you can go to your nearby yoga instructor who is giving you offline pregnancy yoga, nothing like it. But if somebody is well trained enough to make sure that you are safe and they understand your body. See, the right trainer would always be good in communication. They would understand your body. Even if they're not touching you, they would know what wrong you're doing. Yeah, they are of course trained and certified from a reputed institute. They understand the subject. They understand the complications. They talk about the matter. They talk about the lifestyle. They talk about what you're supposed to do and what is expected out of you and what all you will go through this time.
Correct.
So all these, if somebody who is able to take care of this, that person should be a good.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. There is another thing that we say that throughout this, if you go for yoga, those who actually are pro yoga, they say that if you do yoga regularly, it will help you to deliver normally. Okay, and that's what they say, right? Like, because every mother's dream is like it should be a normal birth. I don't want to go for LSCS kind of a thing. Yeah. And then yoga helps to go for a normal delivery. Do you think so?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I am a strong believer in that. My 99% mothers have delivered normally.
Okay.
And 1% that we of course leave to God. There could be any uncertainty. Could be a high BP. It could be something with fetal change. Anything can happen. That is 1%. And when we talk about the labor time also for the delivery, I have seen it in my case also, and I have seen it in the case of my students who have delivered for the second time. So they have gone through 3 hours, 2 hours delivery time.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I myself have gone through 3 hours delivery.
Wow, lucky. Mine was a nightmare. I still remember. Oh my God, how many hours? It was like eternity. Okay.
So it does.
Anything you want to tell about the prenatal yoga, because I want to get into now postnatal yoga. Anything that is specifically, if I'm missing out anything or any information that you want to give about the prenatal yoga for this time?
So prenatal yoga should be done by every expecting mother. And I would rather say much before that. In fact, before you get pregnant, start practicing yoga so that transition becomes more acceptable.
Correct.
And you find yourself in a happier and a healthier place. During this transit of 3 trimesters or 40 weeks journey, every week would give you a different aspect. Your mood swings, changes in body, changes in environment, changes in baby, everything would be changing every week. So sometimes it would be a good report, sometimes it may not be a good report. So when you practice pregnancy yoga, it gives you a kind of a visibility and acceptance that it will pass, and I will be fine. I have seen these cases wherein the reports were not good, after 15 days they were fine.
True.
So yeah, but mother has to be strong enough to accept it and to make sure that she is giving this 1 hour to herself. Even if it is not 1 hour, at least half an hour for some mindfulness,
Correct.
something to look forward to. Walking is must. For all 40 weeks, walking is must. Mother should walk at least 30 minutes to 40 minutes. And especially in the last month, from 36th week to 40th week, mother should make sure that she is curb walking, which is a staircase walking, walking, step by step on the stairs and right with the right step and coming back with the left step, something like that. She can add on. She can do some lot of pelvic tilts, goddess pose, one of the best pose to practice in the last month. So all these practices will definitely help, and everything would be fine with both mother and baby. Yeah.
I used to walk.
Yeah.
Another thing that I did is like I resigned and I was sitting at home. I knew that I'll do it for first and the last time in my life. I have zero courage. I don't know how my mother and my grandmother, they have so many children and other things. I was like, nah, nahi hoga. But if I'm doing it, then I should do it with 100%. I resigned. I was like a full-time pregnant mama. Nothing I did. I used to eat, do yoga, listen to music. And this music that you were talking about, right? So I always wanted my daughter to be into music. And that time yoga and other things, it was like ages back, right? Like 15 years back. It was not so fancy, everything. And that time, so I didn't know what to do. Okay, so I used to listen to that Garbha Sanskar by Amitabh Bachchan wala audio. Okay, Tumhara baby, aise वगैरह करके. Then when there was few videos by Sri Ravi Shankar, I used to listen to that. Then there's some YouTubers I used to follow. And I always wanted a daughter who's into music. Okay, my daughter, she's into music. She's a good singer. She can play piano. She can listen to the song and play. She's by default into music every time. You won't believe I'm not a music person. Okay, during my pregnancy, I used to listen to A.R. Rahman music. Okay, and I used to think that my daughter will have. And I really wanted to publish the data that if you listen to A.R. Rahman music, your child might get into some kind of a music or something like that. But it does work. I'm very sure. Okay. Now let's talk about the postnatal yoga. We'll divide it into two different categories. One is the natural birth or the normal labor that we talk about, or something with epidural or episiotomy or anything that is little intervention, maybe forceps delivery or anything. Third is like a classic cesarean section, and how yoga practice will change based on these three scenarios.
So postnatal yoga, whichever we are talking of, either normal, either forceps, episiotomy, C-sec, anything, any mode of delivery that has happened, postnatal yoga should be practiced after 6 to 8 weeks of delivery.
Okay.
So that's the time when your uterus goes back to the normal shape and towards normal size, I would say. And of course, your body has healed within. However, for cesareans of C-sections delivery, there still should be the consensus taken with the doctor.
Okay.
That's always, that's the part of something that I always follow. And it's a part of my directive, my protocols.
Beautiful.
Once you start with postnatal yoga journey, your yogic journey, I would put it like this, emotional balances, bonding with the baby, discomfort in the body, and especially self-awareness from anxiety and sleeplessness would improve drastically.
Correct.
That is for sure. Anybody who thinks that I don't have time, and of course, new mother, new baby is crying, you have to feed, and there is also something that baby is to be fed every 1 hour or 2 hours. All this is to be done. It creates a lot of mental pressure on mother. So if baby is sleeping peacefully for 4 hours, mother will get a panic attack. Oh, my baby is sleeping. Something is wrong with him or her, and I am the person to be blamed. Because that's the time. She's in the most fragile mental state, and nobody would understand.
Correct.
Till the baby is inside you, you are the person of, most value for everyone.
True.
Once the baby is out,
baby is the
hero of the house.
Yeah.
So, and it gives a new mother will always be dissatisfied. One, because
Yeah, yeah,
she
you're
has
not
gone
enough.
through physical
True,
change.
true. Huh.
Of course, husbands can be of very good support. They would want to be the best support, but they have other responsibilities. They will go to work, they will take care of the family, they will go and attend guests, and lot of things they would do. But at that time, what this mother is going through is something that
Yes.
only she's going
Yes,
through
yes.
inside her. This would gradually lead to anxiety, deepening into depression, which will lead to postpartum depression.
Correct.
It may not hit at that point in time, but as per modern science, it will hit after 10 years of
True,
delivery.
true.
That 10 years, nobody knows now. Suddenly, mother turns
Yeah.
40, she
Yeah,
is in
yeah.
depression, and something is wrong with her
Correct.
circuit system
Yes,
in the brain.
yes.
That will she will come forward with this.
Yeah, men can at least blame it on midlife crisis.
Right.
Women cannot even say it like it was my 10 years back while a postpartum
Exactly.
depression.
This poor lady, she has not even realized what she is
Yeah.
going into.
So true, so true.
So the postnatal yoga will help her overcome this, which is going to come ahead after 10 years. So the idea is that the sooner you accept yourself, the more mindful you become. And if you are a practitioner already, you will be mindful. But if there is something that you have not practiced, but now it's everywhere, still become aware and start doing yoga. Even if your postnatal time has gone, please practice something, do something. That's something, I mean, I would always prefer people to practice for.
Correct.
Yoga is something always go for
Correct.
me personally.
So you said that we should start it after 6 to 8 weeks. If it is CS, then just talk to your doctors whether you can do it or not. I don't see, like, clinically, unless and until there are way too many complications. Medically, I don't see any problem in actually starting it. How long they should continue?
So postnatal yoga is sufficient for 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So post 6 months, you can go for regular yoga practice.
Okay. As per WHO, exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months is what we recommend. Is it also helping? Will the yoga will help for feeding the child and for breastfeeding? Will it be helpful?
It will be, definitely. So yoga not during postnatal, but in prenatal also, it starts helping. It helps in releasing of this hormone called prolactin.
Correct. Huh?
Which helps in building the milk. Milk production. So once mother is into yoga practice, the prolactin production would be there, and of course she can feed for a longer duration. It will help in releasing oxytocin hormone. So all these are, they all are helping in bonding with the baby. Then estrogen release is there. So all these hormonal release, working on your pancreatic system and all, it is definitely going to help. So of course, breastfeeding would become, easier also, and of course can be for a longer duration.
Correct.
Which helps in developing immunity in the baby.
Correct. So at least till 6 months they can continue.
Yes.
Of course, you like it, you can continue forever.
Yes.
It's always good. I tried a lot to get into yoga practice, but I'm a gym goer. But I want to. Let's see. We have few good people, those who might help us. Okay. So now think about like a second baby. Assume that somebody has not done the yoga practice and everything during the first baby. Probably was listening to our podcast and all. I'm like, oh, now I'm thinking about the second child and I should do it. Will the first pregnancy will affect the second pregnancy outcome? And can they start yoga for the second pregnancy? Is there anything that is independent over here?
So it is again a myth that you cannot practice yoga anytime. You can practice it anytime. In your first pregnancy, second pregnancy, if you have not practiced it beforehand, it's all right. There is no restriction to it. It is of course going to benefit. I have told so many benefits for pregnancy yoga. Again, the baby is going to be benefited out.
Okay. And what about the first pregnancy if it is CS?
Yeah.
So then what about the second pregnancy? It's always they say that my first baby was LSCS and now because of that meko second bhi CS karna padega. That's what they usually believe. Will that help through yoga to have the second pregnancy as a normal pregnancy and not as a CS?
Yeah. So of course, medical emergencies and changes cannot be controlled in first or the second time.
Correct.
However, it is always possible to have VBAC, vaginal delivery, post your first pregnancy, which was a cesarean delivery. That is and in that case, it's not that the first baby should be 2 or 3 years old or something like that, but I have seen the pregnancy wherein the first baby was 9 months old,
Hmm.
and it was a C-section delivery. The second baby was born after 9 months, and it was a normal.
It was
delivery.
NVD. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
So there was there is no time restriction.
Okay.
In addition to it, yes.
Okay. Do you know there are like organizations, like it's a big startup idea itself to support mothers during the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of this scaling up? Your IMA background person.
So yes, I am.
Reason I'm asking is, I know how important it is. I know it is not accessible to find somebody like you. It's not easy, right? Like somebody connected me through our group, and that's why I got to know that you're here. And I don't see it's very common practice to find somebody who can help you during the pregnancy through yoga, meditation, mindfulness. And I know how important it is, and that's the reason I was like, health commune पे ये topic तो discuss करना ही है. I was very sure about it, right? How to make it accessible?
So Smita, I agree with you. People are not aware.
Yes.
And even if they are, there is some kind of mindset that they are brought up with, that it's either not safe or not for them. And if they have gone through any kind of problem in trimester 1, they would not start in trimester 2. And even if that problem is resolved. So pregnancy yoga is something that can be done at any point in time. And what I am planning, what I am doing is, I'm trying to create awareness through my Instagram channels, through my YouTube and through my social media channels. And of course, we get a lot of questions and queries around this topic. And the best part is, now husbands are becoming aware of it. And
Good,
surprisingly, they message. And that my wife is like 2 weeks and 3 weeks pregnant, and can she connect with you for this? And so I think that early awareness is becoming more prominent now. And I don't have to wait. Sometimes mothers approach in 6th month or when they are 31 weeks pregnant or something like that. So by that time, your body has already matured to some extent. But baby has also matured to some extent. So of course we can work on that. But sooner you start, the better it is.
True.
So that awareness is yet to be there. And I think social media is helping a lot. So yeah.
Okay.
That's how.
I'm a doctor who truly cares about the accessibility and affordability, because I cater, being a doctor, it's not that only the elites I can serve to. Patient is a patient for me, whatever the social background they're coming from. In fact, in Panchil, very few people are aware that I'm a doctor, but all our security people, all our staff, they are aware that I'm a doctor. And one of our electricians' wife is pregnant. So the first question he asks is, "वो मैं के जाएगी तो how I'm going to manage?" ऐसे ना. So these are the basic questions. And they're like, okay, उसको उल्टी हो रहा है, खाना क्या खाना है? So I'm their doctor. And I'll give you one example is like, I have a friend who's in Meghalaya, and in Meghalaya there are overall only 65 obstetricians. And the mother and baby mortality the rate is pretty high in that state. Okay, she's doing a wonderful work to come up with a hospital and putting all these doctors together and thinking about how so mothers are not even able to reach to the hospital by the time they need to deliver a baby. Okay, then there are many states where, and I travel a lot, I see people from less privileged background, I should say. If a mother who's probably my electrician's wife, if she wants to do something like this, is DIY, whatever the YouTube videos that are available, is it a good option, or do they have to at least still take some consultation?
Social media, especially Google, is full of information which can create and give and can be overwhelming to any person. And how do they filter out of it? Consultation for any kind of pregnancy requirement should always be there. Either through a known person, or you visit to a doctor, or to your anybody near, person of confidant. You must go and talk to that person.
Correct.
My suggestion would always be that. Because I know a few of my students, they never Google. They never ever Google. They talk. Because once they are on it, they say that it's so confusing, and it becomes sometimes for mother who is already going through so much, it becomes overwhelming for her to read. Acha, if I will not do this, this can happen. Okay, then forcefully she would start imbibing something which is not even prescribed for.
Correct.
So why to get into that stage?
Correct. Okay. Like there are a few things I want to ask you. Okay. What's your favorite asana? Top 3 favorite asana?
Okay, so for me, my go for all my mothers is cat and cow
Okay.
pose, and one is child pose, and one I love is the standing squat with the back support
Okay.
against the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your favorite books that you recommend?
I recommend Iyengar Yoga for Motherhood.
Okay.
And yeah, that's my favorite book written by B.K. Iyengar. He is my favorite yoga guru. When I started my yoga journey, I started learning through his videos.
Okay.
And I think that's the flow I also processed during my pregnancy yoga class, so that it goes with the flow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I take very small batches. Honestly, I take not more than 5 students in a
Okay.
batch, because I want to give them that personal attention. I don't want to risk the pregnancy. For others, I have a bulk class wherein I do compromise on that part, because I cannot look at other 50 people, right? All 50 at same time, it's not
Correct,
possible.
correct.
So the instructions are meant to be very clear, and then I have to add on, किसी को ये problem है, diabetes है तो आप ऐसे नहीं करेंगे, back में pain हो रहा है तो आप ऐसे नहीं करेंगे.
Correct.
But what if I miss on anything? It's all human thing, and I'm not reading a script or doing it like that. So that way, as a practitioner, as a trainer, for us also it becomes difficult. And I always prefer to give personal attention to every mother. I mean, you can talk to my students, you can read my reviews and all. There is no compromise. I mean, it's all by the grace of God. So, and I believe that whatever you are doing in life, it should be given 100%. And when somebody who is already going into such an important phase of life, when they are only looking up to you, because they know that you are the person they have hired for their well-being and the baby's well-being.
Correct.
So, you have more the responsibility on your shoulders.
True.
So, and when it comes for people who may not be able to easily access this kind of benefit, yoga practice, or it's become little, heavy on the pocket, I would rather say that still try what all you can do. Working है, basic movements हैं, ये हर कोई कर सकता है.
True.
तो just don't think that you have to pay to get the service.
Correct. हाँ.
सब mindfulness बैठ करके आप breathing करें, आप थोड़ा सा meditation करें, मेडिटेशन को सुन ले, बेबी के लिए गर्भ संस्कार म्यूजिक को सुने, कुछ मंत्र चैंटिंग करें. मेरा आई रन अ कम्युनिटी ग्रुप ऑन व्हाट्सएप. आई गिव offer to people to come and join, because every day I post on that group something which is related to the mother and the baby.
Nice.
So I have prepared a set of asanas, mantras that they can chant every week, how that mantra is to be chanted for that particular week for the baby's development, and how it is going to help the baby. Om Bhur Swaits are very important mantra that how it is going to help mother's well-being as well as baby. So so that community is there, and then through my social media I let mothers understand in what week what is going to happen with them. उनकी बॉडी में क्या चेंज होगा, बेबी में क्या चेंज होगा, उनका लाइफस्टाइल कैसा होना चाहिए for that particular week, and for that matter what all two asanas they can practice. So even if you do not have time, just listen and follow whatever, even if it is for 10-15 minutes. It is always a feel good factor.
True.
And what they can eat during this particular week, how their eating habits are going to impact baby's health. If mother is into too much of outside food eating, junk food and all that, of course your mother's digestion system goes for a toss. Already stomach compromise hai, intestines compromise hai, because of the growing belly, and all these foods, heavy foods, they take time to digest.
True.
So all these basic knowledge is available on the system, on the social media. So helpful for the mother.
Being a doctor, I want to ask the questions related to doctors. Do you think that doctors are now referring patients, not patients, it's a physiological process, pregnant mothers, to go for yoga, prenatal yoga or postnatal yoga?
Yes, they are. Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
They are, and they are making sure. I mean, few of the students who have come to me, their doctor has categorically asked them, up prenatal yoga start kar.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think that's a good awareness.
Correct. And how's the support from the family? If some mother wants to go for all these things, she needs that 1 hour time. घर पे facilities होगी नहीं होगी, all those things are there. So do you see any change, or do you think the family is supportive, or what do you need to do to support mothers during
I think yes, these mothers are very well aware, and I offer very different timings for the practice. So that also becomes, quite flexible for them to choose from. So if not in the morning, maybe in the evening. And since I work across the globe, so they have multiple options to
Correct,
choose from.
correct,
Yeah. So win-win for all.
Okay, oh, that's my last question is, as a society, luckily initially, I won't say that that's the norm now. We were very much pro for overall pregnancy support. In our culture, we have those, that Doha Jevan and other every area that you go, they celebrate the pregnancy. We have it's there in that our system. Unfortunately, we don't follow all that. Culture wise also, if you look at, I have a nice good painting of Gemini Roy, who's a painter, and it's a Ganesha and Parvati. So his all paintings are about baby and mother and goddesses and their child. That relation has been very beautifully added into our community in such a way that we overall respect this responsibility that has been given by God to us. But I personally feel that as a community we are losing that that beauty of motherhood. I talk to young girls; they are not even thinking that I'll be conceiving in future, okay, or I'll be a mother in future. They're like, I don't even know, like they don't. Whereas my time, I'm from a very different generation altogether. My time, that thing was always there, that I want my own child karke na. I always wanted to be a mother. I always wanted to be a mother. Okay, just to say that, God gave me that, I need to see how it feels, kind of a thing. Also, the lifestyle changes that happened in today's generation, girls are not aware that if they are abusing their system so much, and let me be very candid to say this, because I'm a doctor, I should give the health education about this. So if you are heavily into party, if you are consuming alcohol, if you are smoking heavily into your early phase of your life, also if you are into very openly into the dating life, and if you have multiple partners, if there are sexually transmitted diseases that are already there in your body, even these are the basic diseases, not like, I'm not talking about HIV or hepatitis or other things, but even basic torch infections or other infections that is going to cause some other problem to your baby in future. When you try to conceive, that time some other things are going to happen. We also see a very increasing trend of infertility that's happening. The prevalence is very high, men as well as women, because of the horrible lifestyle we are into. Apart from that, another thing is we do not talk about it. We do not now respect the pregnancy and the motherhood, and then I'm a mother kind of a thing, right? Earlier days, it was very different. Even if you look at the movies, पहले मतलब Nirupa Rai was a माँ, right? If you see, अभी वो माँ दिखती नहीं है कहीं पे. And that media actually drives our thought process. It drives the whole community. Okay, where the conversations regarding pregnancy is important. Okay, and also if you look at the other aspect of it, because of women are becoming ambitious. I am very modern ambitious woman, but I say that my full-time job is to take care of my daughter, and I do run 2 companies like that, right? So it's important that, but I see that girls, those who are younger, they do not think about it at all. Where do you see, because you are dealing with this directly, I'm looking at it as a third person or probably a podcaster, as somebody who's dealing with pregnancy as a topic on day-to-day basis, that's your full-time job, right? Like that, then what do you see the changing trend, or do you think that world is not so bad the way, Smita, you're talking about?
No. I agree with you, Smita, and I think it has changed a lot. I think girls, I would not even say girls, I would say both genders.
Yeah.
They have gone to the off limits in abusing their bodies that way. A few days back only, I was sitting with my daughter in a cafe, and we saw 2 girls, 13 years and 14 years, must be that age. They were chain smoking. And my daughter was 12. She said, Mom, just look at them. I was like, don't. It's okay. It's okay. Mama, should we tell their mothers? I was like, we can't even do that. Because, the perspective of interference has changed. I cannot approach them and tell them that, beta, this is not good for you. But, inside my heart is crying that why they are doing this. I've seen and come across the cases wherein the young girls, when they turn 19, 20, they get their eggs, freeze, and thinking that after 10 years they would be put to use.
Correct.
For next 10 years they are free to do
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
in their life.
Yeah.
So
It's not true.
this is all mindset. Smita, I think it's, again, coming back to the same topic, it's about self-awareness.
Correct.
So mindfulness, self-awareness, what parents are talking, what kind of environment they are in, this all adds up onto their anxiety. Right now, social peer pressure is a lot. Social media is, of course, all hands on. A child turns 7-8 years old, they have their own handset and all that happens. So I think there is no control on what they are seeing and how influential it is when sometimes I scroll through an Instagram video and I see it's 15 minutes gone. Then who is, as a parent, when we are aware that this is not right, how do you control a 10 years old?
Correct. Huh.
So, or then, of course, that comes to a younger generation who they have more advancements in their hands, and then, of course, when they are going out with 10 different kinds of people, the influence of bad is more than good. So, this is absolutely, I know certain cases wherein, females are struggling to get pregnant and they're absolutely good. But then, of course, the family pressure, what's going behind is a different level of frustration and tension that they go through. So ultimately they end up blaming themselves.
Correct. Huh.
That problem is with me. But they're absolutely fine. I mean, nothing is wrong with their system.
Correct.
So,
Huh.
But you can't help it.
Yeah, it's a big awareness drive that we require regarding this whole motherhood thing. And the cafe story reminds me about the girl who's smoking related thing. We were sitting in one open space for having dinner a little early in the evening, like 7-8ish kind of a thing. There was one couple sitting over there. And me and my daughter, we were there and we were like waiting for our food to arrive. And there was a dog. Okay, so this girl started petting the dog. And my daughter said that she didn't wash her hand. Okay, so I said like, okay, we'll give her our hand sanitizer. Okay, so we gave it to her. Okay, she's like, thank you. And after petting the dog, she used the hand sanitizer and cleaned her hand. And my daughter and we were both happy. And after 2 seconds, we looked at her and she started smoking. She's like, now we cannot help her because we can at least wash her hands, but this I cannot help. And actually it happens, and I can relate with the story that you said. But I agree that it's too much of awareness that is required, not just about the options that are there, for somebody who already conceived, but also to see that, okay, in future, if I'm mother, whether my body is ready for it or not. And it won't be ready when you're already conceived, and let's see if we can discuss about it some other time. I have some very, very interesting rapid fire questions for you. And I try to I'm waiting for the hamper. It should arrive somewhere like that. Okay, so my first rapid fire question. One myth about yoga in pregnancy that needs to go.
It's unsafe.
Okay.
Yeah.
If yoga had a superpower during childbirth, what it would be?
Just listen to your body and flow with the flow.
Okay. Your go-to yoga pose for instant calm during pregnancy?
Cat and cow pose.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was expecting some other answer. Can yoga really replace pain meds during labor? Yes or no?
No, yoga can't. But it can definitely help to reduce.
Okay. Best 3 words advice for new moms starting yoga?
Listen to body.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, great. What's your message to people, those who are, whether they are would-be dads, probably a mom-in-law or a mom, or probably a sibling, somebody who's listening to our podcast, or a new mom who'll sit and listen for sure. What's your message to them?
Just take care of this lady who is, carrying the future of the family, because she's going through a lot of discomfort which she may not be able to express anytime sooner. And her well-being is the most and utmost importance.
Okay.
For all of us. She's the blessed one. People they just try and they are unable to conceive. She's the chosen one. The baby chose her as a mother.
Correct.
So just take care of her.
So you are speaking what I speak, like with so much alignment. And one of my friend who's pregnant, she's not going through a good marriage. And she asked me that, Smita, I'm already pregnant and it's almost 6 months. What should I do and how I'm going to take care of all these things? It's a horrible marriage she's going through. And somewhere I read, I don't know where, some book I think it's a Gibran's book I was reading. It's a soul will select a mother. So a soul wants to come to this world, they'll select a mother. Okay, and her question was whether I'm a right mother or not, because I'm already going through so many things. Am I a good mother? And so I told her that I read somewhere that soul will select a mother, not a father, family, city, religion. Will select the mother. For your baby, you are the best mother. That your baby selected you. So even when I will have doubt and guilt about whether I'm being nice mother to my daughter or not, I always tell myself, that's what the mother she needs. That's me. Whatever it is, she selected me. I'm the best for her. And I loved it. What you said again. I think I loved it. Word I don't say too often in my podcast, but whatever you're saying, I'm like, yeah, probably I'm a biased mother. That's why. But a couple of things I need from you is show us couple of poses if it is possible, some props. How do you actually do all these things? Second, you've got many books. I want to talk about them. That we'll do in small sections. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for explaining this. Such a good discussion this is. Thank you.